So the good news is I figured out how to stop the recording footage from being corrupted. The bad news is that this week I completely forgot to turn on my headphones, which means that while we have the recording with the game audio coming through, I don't have any commentary over it, so this is going to be a post-commentary episode. The game loaded my save back at the bench, which was fine because we already opened the shortcut back, so the first thing I did was immediately go and face a boss, Hornet. Come no closer, ghost. I've seen you creeping through the undergrowth, stalking me. This old kingdom, a terrible thing awakens. I can smell it in the air. I know what you are. I know what you'd try to do. I can't allow it. The trick with this fight is to let Hornet come to you. You can't try and chase her down, or she'll keep jumping away from you. You gotta wait until she does her dash or her lunge, and you jump over her and deliver a counterattack from above. I'd actually rank this fight a bit easier than the False Knight, since you don't have to rush up to him to deliver damage. With the False Knight, you're putting yourself in danger to score any attack on him. But with Hornet, all of your attacks are just counterattacks resulting from her attacks on you that you have dodged. This means that while she may not be easier, because she definitely does move faster and have less of a tell, it's less risky and it feels like it flows more naturally. The reward for beating Hornet is the Mothwing Cloak. This is a first movement item in the game that allows you to dash by pressing ZR on the Switch controllers. It's a pretty neat ability that... oh right, I forgot about this cutscene. Would it seek to break the seals? They cannot be undone. They must be undone. Let us sleep, little shadow. Return to your darkness. Allow us our peace. The Mothwing Cloak is one of the more useful utilities in the game, since it allows you to reach higher platforms if you have a vantage point that doesn't give you the distance required. It also allows you to cross small gaps like so, and it's generally useful for just getting places quicker and avoiding attacks when in boss fights. With Hornet defeated, I unlocked the Stagway Station and traveled back to the Great Crossroads. Now that we have the Mothwing Cloak, we could reach this charm shop up in the town area, which has an array of useful charms. Oh, you surprised me. Hello, hello. Come in, sweetling. Come in and make yourself at home. I'm Salubra. This is my cozy little charm store. Did the townsfolk out there tell you to come and visit me? Yes, this is a lovely village, isn't it? Warm and intimate and full of life. What were we talking about? Oh yes, charms. I can see you started your own collection. Very nice. I'll show you some of my own, and you can take one home with you if you like. The most important charm to get here was the Steady Body charm. This charm completely removes the knockback when you strike something with the nail, which makes it very useful for fighting stationary enemies, including secret geodes on narrow ledges. I swapped out Fury of the Fallen for Steady Body and went to grab a few more Geo to buy the Lifeblood Heart, which gives me 2 extra health that can't be healed, 2 extra lifeblood. Unfortunately, I didn't have the notches to equip it just yet. While I was here, I took the time to activate Overcharm. It takes 5 tries to activate for the first time, but if you equip too much cost worth of charms, you activate Overcharm, which doubles the damage you take, but allows you to equip more charm costs than you have notches. It's not very good to run around with, so I chose not to keep it active. I wandered around Greenpath for a bit, trying to remember where to go next. While I was there, I visited the Hunter. Tiny Squib, you approach fearless. Are you a hunter like me? Do you feel the urge inside to stalk, to kill, to understand? Then take it, my journal. It will aid you. At first the text may seem difficult to discern, but a learned hunter will come to understand its words. Venture the depths of this land and slay its beasts. Prove yourself worthy to bear the mark of hunter. The Hunter's Journal is a neat little thing that effectively acts like a Pokedex for murder. It just records the enemies you kill, and if you kill enough of them, you get a little lore blurb. It's not in any way important for progression, but it's still nice to have. With that done, I remembered I didn't need to be in Greenpath at all. I actually needed to go back to the crossroads, so I walked back and I found the entrance to the next area. This area, the Fungal Caverns, has a lot of important stuff in it, but the first one I found was this creepy ant guy. Don't try to sneak past me, I can smell you. Do you collect a lot of Geo? Give me Geo and you can see something nice. Let me show you them. Take a look. Do you want them? If you really, really want them, I'll trade them for more Geo. More Geo. This guy is actually a shop. He sells 3 charms: Fragile Heart, Fragile Greed, and Fragile Strength. They're very important charms because they have very potent effects, but if you die with them they break, and they're fairly expensive. So I didn't have the funds to buy them yet, and I didn't have any plans to use them at all because I did not want to accidentally lose a bunch of Geo by dying with them equipped and then having to repair them. My next stop was this mini-boss fight with 2 giant mushrooms. Not a very long or hard fight, but the reward is a charm notch, so that's pretty neat. Aha! The tiny steps of a tiny creature. You got the look of an adventurer, so we've much in common. Searching for dangerous places, aye? Well, you're on the right track. A long-necked critter warned me of a tribe deeper down. Warrior sorts, so she says, and I'm itching for some serious combat. And shortly after that encounter, I found Cornifer and bought the map. Ah, my short friend, you've caught me at the perfect time. I'm just about finished charting these noxious caverns. Very territorial types make their homes within this area. I'd suggest avoiding them where possible. Further below, some strange thin creatures gave me quite a scare. They seemed an intelligent bunch. In my youth, I'd have braved their caverns, but I fear my matured physique wouldn't be able to outrun them were they to turn violent. The next stop was the territory of the fearsome Mantis tribe. This is a rather substantial difficulty spike, especially for this early in the game, but I had to brave the caverns because there were 2 extremely important things down there. After a few harsh fights, I found my way to the Mantis village, and did the parkour challenge to get the next mobility item, the Mantis Claw. This is probably the most important movement item in the game, as it allows you to wall cling and wall jump. With it, I could now access the next area, but while I was down here, there was something else I wanted to do first. Getting through the room below is a pretty tough challenge, but after opening up the shortcuts and avoiding most of the enemies, I made it to the bottom, where I challenged the Mantis Lords. And as much as I'm ashamed to admit it, considering I love this fight, I failed. I died. Not once, but twice too. But I buckled down, and on the third attempt I managed to beat it. This fight flows similarly to the Hornet fight, but everything is faster and the attack patterns are different. The trick is to stay in the center of the arena and keep your eyes on the Mantis Lord. There aren't a lot of windows to attack in this fight, which means you can't afford to be slow, which unfortunately I was because I was trying to make commentary, which has been lost to time. Once you reach the second phase, the difficulty cranks up a few notches. Now 2 enemies are active at once, and you need to juggle both their attacks as they're chained together. This phase is particularly unforgiving since there's almost no window to heal. The only opportunity you have is when they do their twin boomerang attack, and even then, if they do the wide sweeping version like they've been doing, you have to time it well to still be able to dodge the attack. Beating the Mantis Lords does a number of things, one of which is granting access to Deep Nest. This is a pretty late game area, so there wasn't much I wanted to do here yet, but I could still go and buy the map from Cornifer. This place gives me the creeps. Vicious little creatures burst out all over the place, and the passages are a dark, twisting maze. Unless you're well prepared, I'd urge you to leave, though if you're feeling strong enough to descend, would you like to buy my map? Beating the Mantis Lords also unlocks a storeroom under the village. This room has 3 chests in it. One of them has a junk item I can sell, one of them has a hefty amount of geo, and one of them has a special charm, the Mark of Pride. The Mark of Pride increases the range of your attack, which is very helpful, and one of my favorite charms in the game. But with all that taken care of, I was out of time. Thank you all for watching this post-commentary, and I'll see you next week with a hopefully fully complete recording.